Okay, first of all, I want to say how deeply saddened we are as a program. We lost, Matt and Sean Asiata, two of our players that played for us, lost their father a few days back in tragic accident, and went to the funeral today. And really, our thoughts and prayers go out to Matt, Sean, and the whole Asiata family. It was just a horrible thing, and so we want to make sure that we acknowledge that. For the game this Saturday, also, a little sidebar to the game, we're having a Salute America theme for the game, and we're going to be wearing some decals, different drum and feather decals on the side of the helmet, and honoring the servicemen in the country and the veterans as well. And so it'll be halftime. The band will have a presentation to honor the servicemen as well. So that's going on in addition to the normal activities of the game. Arizona State, tremendous football team, talented, complete team, I think is a term I used last week. Well, I know I used that term. And they're very good on offense, second only to Oregon as far as total yards, points per game, and second only to, I believe, USC in total defense. And so there really is no no weakness. They've got a lot of things going for them. They're playing very well right now. They're first place in the South, and they are right now a very hot team. And so they're coming into Rice Eccles, which is a positive for us. We got them at home, but we're just going to take our best effort to in the game this weekend. Questions?
Coach, looking at Arizona State's offense, what challenges do they present specifically for your team's defense?
Well, I think they're so balanced. They do an exceptional job running and throwing the football. Taylor Kelly, their quarterback, is a great decision maker, has done a nice job with the read zone aspect of their offense. He throws the ball very efficiently. Marion Grice, the running back, is a talent. They've just got a lot going for them on offense, and they're doing everything well. There really is no weakness right now. They're throwing the ball, they're running the ball, they're doing everything to a high degree of efficiency on offense.
Scott, 2 times you played them in the Pac-12. They've kind of got you really good. Is it the speed thing, or is there a common denominator in those 2 losses?
Well, last year we were clearly flat, not ready to play our best game, and they took it to us down in Tempe. The year before, it was very close. I think it was 14-13 with a couple minutes left in the third quarter, and we had 3 turnovers in succession, which let the game get away from us. But they're good personnel-wise, and when Coach Graham, he's done a great job with the personnel, but he was left with a great deal of personnel. Coach Erickson had done a great job recruiting there, and Coach Graham has maximized that talent.
Coach, any special insight Dennis Erickson can give you on this program? It's been a couple of years, but is there anything they do similarly to when he was there?
Not a lot schematically, a whole different coaching staff and coordinators, and so there's not a lot there. But personnel-wise, a lot of those guys, like I said, he recruited, and he's got a pretty good idea of their capabilities. And so there's a little bit of insight in that respect. But it's been a couple of years, and so I don't perceive that as a huge advantage.
Coach, your team has consistently played better at home this year, and it's not because you're playing the best teams on the road necessarily. Is it, how much of that's a function of playing in a friendly environment versus just the distractions you face when you go on the road and not being at home?
Probably a little both, and we have not handled the road very well. I agree with you there. We really like playing in front of our home crowd at Rice Eccles. We've got a great crowd, and they give our team a great deal of support, and it's something that, with the muss in our corner at home, has been a big boost for us. And so that's probably the best answer I can give, but we got to find a way to, in the future, play better on the road, because we have not done that.
Hey, Coach, how did Travis Wilson's hand look through the first part of this bye week, and how have you handled the quarterback situation rotation through the bye week?
Should be good to go. The bye week comes at a very good time for Travis and a lot of our guys for that matter. We've got a lot of guys that are healed up and hopefully will be ready to go this week. So that should be behind us. We're hoping that Travis is now 100% and completely free from the effects of that injury. And then what was the second part of your question?
How did you handle the quarterback rotation?
Quarterback rotation, yeah. We're going to continue to redshirt Connor Manning, which means that Adam Schultz now will get just about the entire dose of the twos, the reps with the twos. So Travis will take the ones and Adam will take the twos, which is probably about a 60-40 split for Travis and Adam.
Coach, as good as it felt at the time, how far away does that Stanford win feel right now?
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks. Seems like an eternity, but it's only been a couple weeks, and it's hard to believe. And well, I guess with the bye week, it's been 3 weeks now on the calendar, but just a couple games ago. And you know, we thought we knew we played a good football game, and then got our quarterback hurt in the first quarter of the next game, and just proceeded to not play very well across the board in those next. Although we played very well defensively last week, I shouldn't say we didn't play well, because last week defensively was a great effort.
To have lost all of that momentum, how do you just get your guys emotionally out of the rut from those two really tough losses?
Yeah, you got to just continue to do what you're doing, and we've got a lot of character on this football team, particularly in the senior class, and they're a competitive group. And if nothing else, you play for the love of the game and the competition of it all. Although there is a lot of reasons that we're still playing a bowl bid. You know, a lot of these seniors are playing for a chance to play on after college. You know, so they got to continue to showcase their skills. But more than anything else, you shouldn't need anything but the competitive nature from within, which I think our guys have a great deal of.
Arizona State hasn't failed to put up more than 30 points in every game. The pressure on your offense then, which has struggled the last couple of weeks, do you take more chances knowing maybe that you can't just put up 17, 20 points and beat this team?
Right. In fact, I think they've scored over 50 the last 3 weeks out, and over 50 maybe 5 times this season, something like that. They're very prolific on offense. Like I said, only second to Oregon. But oftentimes the best defense is good offense, and if we can take care of the football, number one, our 4 losses in the Pac-12, we've had 15 turnovers in those 4 losses. That can't happen. This league is too good to hope to win if you're going to turn the ball over at that rate. And particularly when we're not getting a great deal of takeaways on defense. And so if we can move the chains and protect the football like we did against Stanford, then I think we got a very good chance.
Coach, will you take me into the game film against these guys, Arizona State? And I mean, they're putting up so many points. What is it that they're doing to make it so hard to defend them?
Well, I think, like I said, that the balance, you can't just load up for the run or the throw because they do both so well, and it's much like Oregon. You know, Oregon does a great job with a balanced attack, and so that's really the key is they force you to defend everything. They're spread, so they force you to defend the entire field, and both the run and the pass, and that makes it difficult. And the quarterback is very efficient and running that offense to perfection.
Tell me what they're doing defensively, Coach. Washington State combined for, 3 yards total rushing? Obviously, they're looking to stop the run, but give us some ideas what they're doing defensively to stop the run.
Yeah, they're a quarters team, first of all. Split safety look in the secondary. They've got some real good players. Sutton, the defensive lineman, is their premier guy. They got, another kid, number 52, is a tremendous player. They got Darby, I think is the name of the safety. So they've got very good personnel, number one. They're very well coached on defense, technique and fundamentally. They're very sound, and then their safeties are very aggressive. I mean, they'll come downhill on the run game and hit you in the mouth, and they're very quick to diagnose the run with the safety group, and the corners are skilled cover guys. And so they, for their scheme, they have all the parts in place to make that an effective scheme. But it all starts with Sutton. Will Sutton's the linchpin to the whole thing they're doing on defense.
Kyle, is Taylor Kelly the best quarterback you'll face so far?
That's a good question. We've faced some good ones. Let's see, I'd have to think. From a number standpoint, he may be, but there's some good ones down the road as well. So we just expect to face some great skill guys every week. It seems like every week in the Pac-12 you face a top round draft choice or several of them, and this week will be no different. And Taylor Kelly's had an exceptional season so far.
And then they kind of have a unique thing. They have the 2 top scorers in the NCAA on their team too. I mean, just look like they just have a lot of weapons on offense.
They do, and like I said, the best way I can describe them is a complete team. There is no weakness, and they've been hitting on all cylinders. They've stayed very healthy all season long, which is a key to a lot of your success. And so they got a lot going for them.
Just to kind of go off Dirk's question, I believe that Taylor Kelly was responsible for 7 touchdowns last weekend, 5 through the air and 2 rushing, I believe 66 yards rushing. Obviously, Sean Mannion, another one that you faced. who in your mind is he comparable to? Is he more likely to sit in the pocket, look down his receivers, or is he the kind of guy that will get out and run?
The latter. I think he's more of a guy that'll get out and move around, and where Mannion is purely a pocket passer. He's a guy that wants to stay in the pocket at all costs and just pick you apart with his arm. Kelly's is very mobile and a lot like the quarterback at Oregon that we'll see in a couple weeks, Mariota. I mean, he's very similar to that style of play. Not quite as prolific as a runner.
And so you've told me that your base packages are designed to stop the pro-style offenses, and you've got sub-packages for this. What exactly is it that you need to do against one of these fast-paced, high-tempo spread offenses to get the stops out there?
Well, I think we got to keep the run game under control, and which we didn't do against the University of Arizona. You know, Kadeem Carey had a field day against us, and so we've got to make sure that we make it very tough sledding for the run, and then try to make some plays in the back end. Our pass defense has been really pretty darn good this year, with the exception of not being able to come away with interceptions. You know, we have an efficiency rating that's down the line in the league, but if we added 3 or 4, just the normal amount of or the bare minimum amount of interceptions, then we'd be really good in pass coverage. But we haven't done that, and so that's really a moot point. But the coverage aspect itself has been pretty good. So bottom line, take away the run and be sound in coverage, not give up the big play.
Kyle, we know your background is as a defensive guy, but with the struggles your team's had all season, especially again against USC with facing 3rd and longs, has there gotten to a point where you've had to kind of sit down and talk about your play calling, especially on 1st and 2nd down, and what the plays that are coming up that are putting you in 3rd and long?
Well, we've got to be more creative, without a doubt. But you know, the entire offense and the complete autonomy rests with Dennis Erickson. You know, he's got the complete control of the offense. As you mentioned, I'm a defensive guy. I'm certainly aware of what's going on offense, and certainly have input as far as what I'm seeing from my vantage point. But make no mistake, the offense is completely in the hands of Dennis and Brian at his side, and it's, you know, that's what they're paid to do, is to get the offense going. Thanks. I enjoy it. That's great. Yeah. Yeah.
Just you mentioned last week that Kelvin York could be seeing a few more touches. Is that still the plan there?
We think so. Yeah, and it's a product of, you know, how you practice during the week. Some of the weeks that he hasn't seen as many touches, he's nicked up a little bit in a couple of the weeks where he wasn't healthy. A couple of the other weeks didn't play as well in practice as we thought he needed to, and so as of last game and the week leading into it and what he did in the game was very productive. And so we think that Kelvin, yes, to answer your question, yes, he should get more touches this game than what he's been getting.
I was curious what you thought of the USC result last week with Oregon State, and maybe even the ASU Washington State game, just what your thoughts were on those results.
Well, USC didn't surprise me, that game, and they're so talented. I don't care. You know, they say, well, we only have 45 scholarship play. Well, there's 45 4- and 5-star players that you have access to. And so that's a solid 2 deep. And so to me, they're still the benchmark for the league as far as talent level. And that was apparent in the game against Oregon State. And then the other game, Arizona State, you know, at Washington State actually had some momentum. They pulled to within 42-21 and got a stop. Then the fake punt that Arizona State executed swung the whole momentum back to Arizona State. Otherwise, you know, Washington State has the ball and down 3 scores and have some momentum. But you know, Arizona State, like I said, is playing as well as anyone in the conference right now, with the exception of maybe Oregon.
And last thing, is there a chance that Wesley Tonga will be back this week?
I'm going to say no, based on the report I got this morning. I don't think he'll be available. Okay.